guys, welcome back to Aquascaping on the Fly, Living Art Creations, a Fly Guy's guide to all things aquascaping. Okay, so as promised on an earlier video that I just processed and have uploaded, which was about the Wizard of Oz piece of wood over here, minus one ruby slipper. I'm going to give you guys now a look at the tanks, the three tanks, the Trinity tanks. They're going to be the first in the series, and their hardscape is already inside them. A little bit of comedy relief here. All of a sudden, I almost walked out with, I can't remember, Mini Pearl episode. Those of you who don't know, my parents were a huge fan of Grand Ole Opry, and we used to always watch that and hee-haw. Oh my God, this tortured me. Anyway, she used to come out with a price tag on her all the time, and so I almost came out with the price tag of this shirt on me because it's been hanging in my closet, and this is the first time I've put it on. And what's funny about that to me is that my mom and I have like a lot of the same similarities. I love the shop. She loved the shop. She was a clothes horse. At one point in my career, I did work for Dillard's, and I was the assistant manager over the women's department. And this was in South Florida. And in South Florida, we never could sell a suit for women because it's just too darn hard there. I mean, God, come on. Anyway, the buyers never understood that. So we always had tons and tons of suits, always on sale, 75% off. Then I get my employee discount. Long story short is my mom had a lot of clothes from Dillard's, a lot of suits. They went to church regularly. My mom would always like to put on a new outfit, and as a result, she accumulated 4 closets of clothing. Now, my parents had separate bedrooms, and my mom had the master, so she had a master walk-in closet almost, and she had the closet in the hallway, then she had a closet in the 3rd bedroom, and then she had another closet in the laundry room that my dad built. So she had a lot of clothing, and when she got like up into her 70s, I would visit and I would just go straight to her closet and I'd just pull things out of there like crazy. And she would just sit in terror, or actually lay on the bed in terror as I would do it. And I'd tell her like, look, a woman in her 70s can't wear something with a spot on it. And so that always shut her up because my mom was very vain, just like I am. So I almost walked out in a Mini Pearl outfit, but here we are, now I'm standing here. So I want to unveil this. Now, the reason behind the name Trinity, yes, 1, 2, 3, is because when I went shopping for tanks and I looked at 3 on a shelf, I automatically thought, oh, the Trinity. That would be a perfect, iconic name to the first start in the build. And also, I'm a huge Matrix fan, and Trinity was one of my favorite characters. And as all the movies kind of played out, her name Trinity also meant something as well. She underwent like 3 different sets of episodes in her life, 3 very distinct ones. The last one being she was born and resurrected in the newer series. So Trinity is because of that. Now, just like I told you on the video that I did for minus red slipper, every time I pick up something, it does mean something right away to me. So we're going to start with first, and I'll just kind of like peel this back because I don't want to give the other ones away. Now, some of you are going to be snobs and say, oh yeah, you're going to use tanks with the rim on top. Okay. This little puppy is a 20-gallon. It's 20 by 10 by 12 inches high. This cost me $14 at PetSmart, 50% off. They do a 50% off, just like Petco does in the United States, every other month. So one month it's Petco, the next month it's PetSmart, and they put their open stocks on sale. Alright, you cannot beat the $15 price tag, or $14.90 something price tag for a tank. Because when I went in looking for it was a nano tank. Nano tanks are outrageously expensive for this little small thing that you get. And I had considered a 5-gallon. But when I looked at the size of the 5-gallon, I thought, that doesn't give me enough room to put anything in it that I really want to put into it. So this is the tanks I had sat on, or set my eye on, not sat on physically, but set my eye on. And if you guys can tell, I'll zoom in a minute once I introduce all three of them. I've told you many, many times on all my videos, I never throw anything away. In this tank, to protect it, is brown paper wrapping. Those of you who buy from Amazon will recognize this. You know how when you get a package from Amazon, it's got that brown paper wrapping in it that they kind of squish up and just put it in there as filler? I unsquish it, so I flatten it back out, and I put it in the bottom of my tank so I could put rocks and stuff on it so I knew it wouldn't scratch the surface of the glass. Now, the reason for me leaving the rim on here is a very specific one. Number one, I need it for the tank here on the right. Number two, I was thinking, okay, if I want to attach plants to it, it gives me a lip on the inside and a little bit on the back side, to where if I just want to hook something there, or if I want to tape something, I can just tape it right to the rim and I don't have to worry about getting onto the glass. Because I have bought some opaque film to go on the backs of the tanks, so you won't, even though the background is white, you'll be able to give it a little privacy from the wall, because I know I'm going to have to put cord maintenance up here, because when I was designing this, I wish I had known ahead of time when I was doing the remodeling that I was going to do this, because I would have put outlets up here. That's been the biggest challenge, is not enough outlets. But anyway, so we're going to keep that. Another reason is I don't have to put anything under these tanks. If I want to slide them around, I can slide them around. I don't have to put a cushion on the bottom of it. Even though I bought some cushion for some of the other tanks, these I don't have to worry about, because these are going to go right up here. They're going to sit right there. The shelf is made for them. So let's talk about the piece that's inside there. The very first time I went out foraging for Hardscape, very first time, I went to a place that's really super close, basically down the street about a mile, maybe 2 miles at the most. And it's a little trail. It's like one of those little trails that they put between two neighborhoods when there's land, but they really can't build on it, so they turn it into a little park. That's what this was. And a little tiny little parking lot. So I get out, and this is in September, and it's well over 110 degrees. It's hot out. And like an idiot, I did it at noon. And, well, because a lot of times when I come in from a trip the day before, I will sleep late the next day, so I get up at noon. So I was out walking. I couldn't find anything. I'm totally uninspired. I thought, well, this is not going to work. This is a horrible way to start trying to get into this hobby. And I'm going out towards the parking lot, and I noticed there was this large outcropping of like a massive boulder that you could actually walk up on, and it's like over a little hillside. And I thought it was just, you know, part of the parking lot. No. It's actually another section of the same set of trails. It just doesn't have very defined trails. It's because it's all rock, basically. So I walked up it, and there's very little vegetation in the section I was. It's just because it's just all rock. There, you could tell where when the rain comes in really, really hard, you could see where rain was funneling its way down to a small creek, which had no water in it, by the way, because of the heat, and we had been having a drought. So I'm walking around, and there's a old campfire, and I thought, oh, well, let me just walk over. I walked over there, and let's pull this out. Some dead moss on it. This is what I found. Now, the rock was not attached, but here you can see this was sitting in the campfire. What I immediately was drawn to, the coloring, and that there was this like peekaboo opening right here that I thought, ooh, I know that one of the rules in aquascaping is when, I can't remember what the style it is, try to hide something in the back as a foreground, blah, 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 blah. I thought, ooh, okay, I could put a colorful plant right there, but not let it grow above, so it would give like some contrast to whatever's going in the foreground. Now, here's the flip side. Here's the side that actually, you can tell, has been in the campfire. Now, yes, I did prep this. I cleaned it, and I have sealed it with super glue. So I know that it will not leach off into the surroundings, but the one thing that I want to tell you, and if you've watched any of my other videos where I've spoken about this, when I saw this immediately, I knew what it looked like to me. It may not look like that to you, but it does to me. This looks like a sea turtle. And I have a very close affinity to sea turtles. I was on a layover in Barbados one night. Sea turtles were hatching, and they were going the direction of the hotel, not the ocean, because there was no moon that night. And so the hotel had these bright lights. Now, like in the United States, you can't have white lights on a hotel or a structure or a residence. If you're on the beach, they have to turn them yellow so that baby sea turtles don't get confused and go way up the houses, but go actually to the ocean itself. Well, I immediately ran in, got the front desk involved, and they said, okay, they would call someone to come out. And then I knew why the hotel was elevated just a little bit off the beach. It was about like 1.5 feet. So all the turtles were hitting the wall, which was the perimeter of the hotel, and they were just kind of stuck there. So the front desk told me, hey, if you go out there, use your cell phone light, you can you can move them towards the ocean, which is what I was doing. And I was having a grand old time. Oh my gosh, it was a very spiritual experience for me. And it was about maybe 30, 45 minutes later when a couple of people showed up that just came and actually just picked up all the turtles, put them in a bucket, and started taking the buckets to the water's edge and then just dumping them out. And I was like, oh my gosh, if we can touch them, oh, let me touch them. So then I started touching all of them. And I was holding turtles, baby turtles, and I thought this could be over 100 years old. And it just amped up that spiritual experience for me. So this is going to be called Turtle in Motion. Now, it was another, I think, 2 weeks before I found this rock to put it on. And this rock had the perfect curvature that I needed for the turtle to look like it's diving. So for me, this middle tank is going to have the turtle as its only focus. So I'm not quite sure about how someone technically is going to look at this. It is not the 2/3, 1/3, unless you count the fact that on one side I have the head of the turtle, and on the back side it doubles in size. If that counts as a 2/3, then maybe someone would give me some leeway on this. But that's going to be placed right smack dab, just like that. Now the tanks are going to be cohesive because they're going to share like one element. I want this to appear like one water stream with 3 different interiors. So they're going to be the same color family as far as the gravel and maybe a couple of plants. I had originally wanted a full, and I'm still going to do it, a full carpet effect on the foreground. And then on the background, Vallisneria is what I wanted in the background. But the more I do research on it, I know it's going to be a nightmare. And it's not that I don't want it, I just don't want that high maintenance. So what I have done is, one of my videos is about dwarf hairgrass. And I bought a 2-for-1 special where you bought 2 and got a third one free. And I bought that online. I did not go through, I think it was a generic seller, so there was no affiliation to any type of aquatic plant store or anything like that. And I brought it, when it arrived, it's actually in a growth chamber right now under the table here. And it's been a week that it's been in there. And what I did was I roughly divided it up. And it's in a growth chamber about this wide. And I just sprinkled them all in there, at least an inch apart, every direction it was going. And I put root tabs down first, the API root tabs. Broke those up, put those down first, then put some aqua soil on top, very thin layer, and then planted all the hairgrass, the dwarf hairgrass in it. And then have been spraying it down with some water that has, that I've been using also with the plants that are also all under here. Just recently though, I've added the liquid API fertilizer to the water, and also it's been treated for chlorine. So it should be water like what it's going to have in its natural environment once it becomes part of the system here. So what I envision is having the dwarf hairgrass all on 2/3 of it, and then we'll have something on the backside. I did buy one thing of water sprite online, and it's such a small little section. I'm trying to get it to grow immersed to see if I can get any production out of it. So what I don't want is to start something without having some substantial plants to go into it. So I know by the time we get this done, which will be in 2025, hopefully I'll have enough, at least dwarf hairgrass, that I can fill the foreground in, so you can kind of get the idea, because I don't want to start this build until I have enough dwarf hairgrass to cover, not all of it, it will still be spaced out, but spaced out enough to where it will quickly be able to fill in, and you can kind of get the idea of, here's a turtle sliding in, the grass is all around it, here's what it's going to be feeding on. So it will look, to me, lifelike, and I hope it will to you as well. Okay, now, the tank over here that is going to be on the left. I'm just going to pull it out. But first, before I pull this out, okay, so this was on one of my last excursions when the weather was getting cold. And I was in a park that is basically for frisbee golf and a bike trail. So there's a little bit of pedestrian trail in it, but not much. Mostly it's bike and the frisbee golf. And trust me, if there's frisbee golf where you're at, you better look out. Those frisbees will fly at you and they won't care. I found a section where I guess the city crew that takes care of the park, they just pile everything up in a pile that has been cut down just to get it off the trail. So that's like, basically I could just sit there and kind of like sift through stuff under a couple of trees. So that part was really kind of nice. And I found 2 pieces of curved wood. Not trunks, but like just curved wood. And first I thought, oh, cool. I can take these and have them hang over the side of a tank and put a plant on it. So I'll put one of my house plants on it. So I was thinking, oh, if it's sitting up here and I put this curve up here, I can attach a plant, its roots can go in here. I had it all, I thought I had it all pointed out. Until I brought it home, and when I was carrying it in, is when I got my inspiration. I was like, oh no, it's definitely something else. So here we go. This one is called prayer hands. Everyone knows what this is whenever you see any type of statue when it's got the prayer hands. I've already glued these 2 pieces together. To me, this is the base of the prayer hands. The hands have broken off at this point, and this is what we have left. What intrigues me about this, and I'll show you in a minute, is I'm thinking I can plant something at the tops to give you the illusion that that's where the hands would have started. Now, and then I have another idea. Since I am a huge movie buff, when I was working with this, trying to see what it was going to take to weight it down, I actually I moved it out. Okay, hang on a second. I want you guys to see this because it's kind of cool. Oh, there it is. Alright. Now when I put this in here, you're either going to get it or you won't get it. Alright. So here we have a nice rock structure. If I put it right here, now it is not enough to hold this down, but this is where my brain is just weird. As soon as I saw that, I thought, Alien Conception. This is the prequel to all the Alien movies. This is the alien as it's ready to attack someone. And I chuckled at it because I thought, could I do that? Could I do that to my prayer hands? Could I make them have an alien, little entity inside there waiting to hatch? And I don't know yet. I have no idea until we get down to the part where we're going to do the build. But that's what came to me. So I've got two versions of this one. Now, as you can see, real up close, they are intertwined around each other. This, of course, has also been treated as well. And then here you get an idea of the rot that was at the breaking point, where I think I could attach some plants. There's also some holes like this in it that you could also put a little Java fern in here. So I'm not quite sure. I really have, like this one here. I mean, look at this little crevice here. That just says, let's put something in there as well. Now, I did try a science experiment on this, to where I covered it with the moss that is somewhere, some of it is up there now. And I hated it. Oh my God, I didn't like it whatsoever. So I took the moss off of it and I thought, no, my hardscape needs to stay naked. So I think it works better that way. I think I have it this way. All right, so that's the two. Prayer hands, alien conception. Okay, it has two options. Okay, here we go for the last one. This one, all right. I was on the same outing that I found these guys when I found this. And I was drawn to it because its bark was gorgeous and it has such a beautiful color. So this is basically going to be the simplest one of the three. And I know you can't see right now, but I've got some of the rocks in them that I think I want to use. Okay. Now, very interesting. When I first saw this, the reason why I got so excited about it is to me, and I had it sitting on a picnic table and I was sitting a little bit lower than it, on a ledge where the picnic table was, and I was looking at it. And I immediately saw what I thought looked like a bird sitting on it. And so I dubbed it Bird on a Wire. This, I know, I'll bring it over closer to you. But this, I think, is the bird. And then I immediately thought, oh wow, we could definitely put a plant right back here on its backside to make it look like tail feathers, to where the bird is sitting on a wire. And then this is coming up. I did not break anything off of this. I thought, okay, it does touch up here, which is fine. But this is going to be the place where we can attach other things. So this is the whole thing, is that making this up here as big and as grand as we can so that we can do whatever we want with something like this. And trust me, these are three of my smallest things I have found that I have got collected already. Now, so in both this one and this one, we have the round. We only have this jagged one in here. So what's the other common element for me is wood. The wood is the common element in all of them. And whatever that I wanted to put maybe in the background here would also be on this side here. And we may do the same thing on this side. So like if dwarf hairgrass is the foundation here, maybe the dwarf hairgrass starts in here, but this turns into something else. So that, I don't think we're going to get any more visual if I pull that out of there. So I think what I'm going to do is try to zoom better for you. I apologize because my camera didn't zoom. It's so annoying. The things they don't tell you when you do research. Oh, you really can just see my my tea in the background. Alright, let's move the tea. Alright. Okay, so that's as far. Okay, so can you tell from here what I'm talking about? To me, this really does look like a bird right here. And I really envision things attached along here that will grow in the water. And I was thinking, what if we did a Java fern at the crease here, and it was growing immersed but above? And I'd like to see what that would look like. That really kind of interests me. So as far as the curve in both of them, and there you can kind of see more. Oh my gosh, just even looking at it on camera, I am just loving how the dark wood really plays off into that. And the reason why I chose light colored pea gravel that will kind of highlight the bottom of it so that light will really make that blackened feature stand out. And then over here, the same round rocks. You can see there's more in there. The paper's kind of in your way, but you can see there's more round rocks in there. So we don't have round in the middle, but we definitely have it in the other. So let's span back out again. And I'm going to put you guys on hold while I move these and get some more product for you to look at. Okay, so you won't be able to see me so much in this shot because of the wood that I have collected here. But we'll start here at this corner. Yes, can you see? No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, this is one of the very first pieces that I found. What I love about this one is that it's got these awesome crevices in it. The backside has a little bit different coloring, so I think definitely, well, I don't know, you could fill this up with, you could definitely fill this up with plants if you wanted to, if I want to. But I think it has definitely like a shark motif going on here. That seems to be the theme with some of my pieces. So here's one. Of course, that's going to require a little bit taller, wider tank than what you've got going on right there. And let's go to the middle ones. Okay, so I already have I'm working on getting these to come together. I had originally wanted a trident stick system, and I haven't been able to put one together yet that looked really, really cool. But these were all found on one outing, and they were just on the ground, so they were separate pieces. So 2 of them I've already built together. This one's going to be attached. I sort of want this to come out of an aquarium or one of the bowls, is what my intention is. So I've got these that I can work on, is another idea. And with that is this dude, which is called Rocket Man. Because to me it looks like a rocket taking off. It's been broke twice. I will say the gluing in the beginning, when I was gluing, I just did absolutely a horrible job. I'm testing out the wicking rope because I want to be able to set this in the tank and then have the rope hidden, but to where it will reach up so that I can have moss growing on the top side of this. Now when I've done my test, I can only get moss to grow about 5 inches vertical. So that's going to be really hard to do. So that's another, but I'm working on that one. On the last, these 2 pieces, very large. These are some stumps that I found and on a bike trail. So you have to be really careful on a bike trail because you know there's not room for pedestrians on there with them. It's just really the bikes. So here is, these have been treated. Now, what I like about I guess I'm drawn to the ones that have black in them. And maybe it's because of the studio coloring. Black is my accent color. But I mean, oh my gosh, that to me is just super cool. And here's the other one. I mean, just this super dark. I mean, look at the darkness compared to what's underneath that. Super dark. Amazing. Let's go this way. Yes. It's just, no matter which direction you're going to put it in there, it's going to look amazing. Kind of in my head, it kind of goes that way. So of course these, the two on the end, are going to take a much larger tank. Where they're going to go, I don't know, because you see how much space I have here. But they're in my head as far as designs that I want to do. Let me pull out some rocks. Oh, hang on. No way we're going to do walk shaft. I forgot about this guy. Okay, I found this in a storm drain, and I want to turn this into a bonsai. Now, I know it's gigantic, but it's got great curves, and I think it would be amazing, and it's blonde. And I thought, oh wow, that would really stand out. All the limbs are substantial enough that if you cut them, I should be able to attach and turn that into a bonsai. That's not the only piece of that I have. Oh yeah, you're hearing stuff fall. Or I have this piece, which kind of to me looks like antler. It's like I have an antler. That this was cut off some landscaping and was just tossed down into a storm drain. This matches this. It's the same thing. Which also, here's another little piece, but on a really long stick. It matches it. And here's yet another one that has the best ending to it. I mean, look at that. When I cut it off, that is exceptional. I mean, if I turn this up, I mean, that just screams, put a plant in there. Attach something. This could be the base for a bonsai because you could have this attached to a rock. Here you go, whatever. And then I was looking for something that I might realistically able to use to give anything a little bit of height that it needs. It's the same color family. It actually matches this and it goes with this. So that's like a transitional piece that can go for either one of those. So I've got several items now in that blonde-ish family that I can work with. Now you can see up here, these are the twigs that I've collected. And the ones at the very back, when I boil these, the outer layer of the branches came off, and it's smooth, and I love it. I can't wait to use that in something. This is another shrub that was thrown out in some landscaping trash. Here I've got some of the blonde stuff. This on the very end is too brittle. I'm probably going to end up throwing that away or maybe putting it in when we do like a natural looking escape. And then I have these really cool just dried It's not a bush, it's some type of a plant that dried, and then I collected them off the ground and they're spiky. And so, okay, so what we're looking at now, I've added a sample of the rocks I've collected, as well as down at the right end of the table, some botanicals that I've already collected. Let's get a little closer. I'll keep you here. So I'm not sure if you can really, see if you can see this. All right, these first two, this one has such a cool, yeah, you can see it right there on camera. See how that has the little, I guess that's quartz in it? That little shimmer. Oh God, it's beautiful, beautiful when it's wet. So these both, now, okay, 100% here. None of these rocks were ever found together because I'm finding my rocks at the weirdest places. Normally in a storm drain, which I have said like at least 10 times already on my videos, storm drains are heaven because it just, everything gets washed down and it's in one convenient little location and you just got to sit there and pick it out. Also, any company that does landscaping, that I've had some really good luck with. We'll get some landscape crews that will come into like an apartment complex or a housing neighborhood, and they'll collect all their landscaping trash when they're doing their trimmings and everything, and they have a wealth of information, but a wealth of products that, you know, they just toss out. And then also road construction. Road construction always has a pile of trash that's out there, and there's always rocks in it. So when they're digging something up, there's always rocks, you know, laying out with all the trash that has to be picked up by a bulldozer. So that is an easy way to pick something up. Now, right here, it's hard to tell. Well, maybe not so much. This rock here is actually gold. It's got a gold coloring in it. This one is a little lighter, which is also like this one back here, a little bit lighter as well. So, oh, you couldn't even see that one. It's right there. I can't see the camera the other side, but there you go. See how that one is flat? Now, that is not related to the rock in Turtle in Motion. Turtle in Motion was a rock all by herself. There was nobody else. Here we have what appears to be a piece of slate. What I like about this is it has tinges of yellow in it, and when it's wet, it is another gorgeous rock. Here's one specimen that I have not been able to find anything else like it. It has got this nice brown vein all the way through it except on this side. So on one side it's one color, on the other side it's another color. Here's some of the botanicals. Now these, it's in this pan right here. I just collected these in Durham. And what was really nice is after I boiled these, the red still stayed in. Not as vibrant as it was, but the red is still in there. And then there's some beautiful massive leaves that take over the entire bottom of the container here. And then down here, we've got 2 other bags of leaves that have been boiled. There are some really tiny, waxy red ones in one of these. Here is a dried mushroom that came off of one of the limbs I picked up. And then back in here, the bark that I told you came off of those small limbs is right here. Some seed pods, and oh, here's actually ones that are burgundy. They stepped some of their color as well. But the seed pods, when they're wet, oh my gosh, they're really pretty. They're really nice and dark. Okay, so now you can see how the tanks are going to look up here. This will probably always be my workstation because I don't have space in here to build anything else to work off of other than the table. And I have planned on a bowl, a terrarium, and a tall cylinder vase. The cylinder vase will probably just have a piece of wood in it and that's it, because it's not big enough to put plants in. There's one other thing I want to show you. Well, wait a minute, no, it's not ready to show you. But I do have in the bedroom a rolling, which is like started out being, when I first came to Texas, I bought a thing on wheels that had like 3 dividers in it for clothing. Like small little fabric containers, and then a shelf at the bottom that was fabric, and then a hanging part on top where you could hang clothes on it. And that's what I keep all my bark on. I have a lot of bark. I have 2 different kinds of bark. So I have more bark that matches this, and then I have some really heavy bark that I picked up that I'm in love with. It's where this is really paper thin and very delicate. The other bark I picked up is super massive, chunky, and I have this envision in my head on what I want to do with it, and it involves 5 vessels and to be mounted on the other wall, the wall behind us. We'll see if we get that. We'll see if we get that far. But now, as you can tell, what I have done, you can do too. All you need to do is to get out there in nature. I promise you, you will find something and you will enjoy the process. You will enjoy the process of looking, because when I'm out there and I'm going super slow, I'm not only just looking for something that's like a hardscape or a rock, I'm also looking at plants. I'm always constantly looking to see if I can find any natural ferns that are growing in nature anywhere, especially when you get around like even a dried up riverbed or something like that. I'm always looking for something like a plant that I can use. I have something in a growth chamber that I picked up along the Trinity River bank, and it mimics a water plant in many ways. It was not growing in water though, and it is a vine, but the leaves are pretty substantial on it, to where it reminded me of like a type of a water lily. But as I say, there was no water near it, and it was growing successfully, and it was vibrant green. So I took a cutting off of a leaf, and I'm trying to see if I can get it to grow roots. Hopefully I can. But I hope this gives you guys an idea of where we're going to be going with the tanks, and how each tank is going to have its own individual theme, and then how the theme will be cohesive together. So you've got your Trinity here. I didn't show you the bowl and the other 2 over here because there's not much to say about them, other than it's going to be my first bowl aquarium, and it's the first thing that I found that I fell in love with when I was discovering the videos for aquascaping. The 3-gallon bowl that I bought, again, it was only $12, and I was super excited because when I had looked online, all the bowls started at like $100, and especially if you're looking at one of the bio ones, I mean, those are actually outrageous. But when I found the one at Walmart, I was super thrilled, because that's one thing I knew I wanted to do, because I like how in the bowl the sides of it are distorted, and so it magnifies whatever is inside the bowl itself. And I thought, oh, that's amazing. So I was kind of hooked from that point forward. But it won't be the first series we're doing. It's going to be the Trinity. It's going to be the first, because I want to get it's kind of like working backwards, up till down, because I want to get this finished before we start here, and on and so on and so on. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the hardscaping and the rocks. You can see that so far I've spent no money on this, and that's our goal. Next, I would like to be able to set up some growth chambers for some aquatic plants. I still have an order sitting in my cart, and I'm still tweaking on what's going to be the best selection to get all 3 of these off the ground and running. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.